So, is there going to be another federal tax on housing? My name is Brandon Love, and I'm a mortgage broker in Canada who is closely watching the movements of our federal government. In this video, I'm going to shine a light on some of the recent activity of Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party, what the implications mean to homeowners, and why this should matter to you. Stick around to the end to see what to do to protect yourself and your family from Trudeau's sticky fingers. So let's dive into it. Despite frequent denials, Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party have long flirted with the idea of taxing primary residences. You could see some movement towards this with changes in the capital gain tax recently that came after people who owned secondary properties such as cottages. Recently, Trudeau met with Paul Kershaw, one of the nation's leading voices on taxing home sales. And the thing about this meeting is that they met in secret. Trudeau did this under the guise of attending an ocean conservation event in Vancouver. So this clandestine meeting wasn't officially announced. It was only ousted via a podcast snippet that came out on Generation Squeeze, Kershaw's podcast. So what are you hiding, Mr. Prime Minister? Let's dive deeper into who Paul Kershaw is and what Generation Squeeze stands for. Kershaw's Generation Squeeze is a quote-unquote think tank that advocates for the younger generation of Canadian society. Their primary argument, it seems, is that people who have built wealth through real estate and taken the risks to do so have an unfair advantage over Canadians who have sat on the sidelines. And while I don't agree with this, Kershaw's viewpoint is the capital gains exemption that comes with your primary residence is unfair, and then, in fact, those primary residences should be taxed. Now, this kind of lines up with Trudeau's idea of fairness, which is total bullshit. The rhetoric on generational fairness hasn't amounted to much. It's a lot of talk, a lot of throwing dollars at different groups with shiny names and cool sounding agendas that don't actually get any work done. Think about how much he said he's doing for housing over the past however many years and what's actually happened. I would argue we're in a way worse place for the average Canadian, especially for the lower class Canadian, than we were before he came into office. So meeting with Kershaw is obviously a big red flag. What's your agenda here? And despite past rejections of proposals of a sliding scale tax on homes over $1 million, the Liberal Party's engagement with Kershaw and different CMHC studies on homeownership and tax policy suggests that this is something they're seriously mulling over. For me, when it comes to Trudeau and the federal government, there's a lot that's hidden. There's a lot of this, hey, we're going to say we're super transparent. Hey, we're going to say we're advocating for fairness, but behind the mirrors, behind the curtains, we're moving our own way, and it's to boost more taxes so that we can throw more money at things that hopefully buy us votes. And I know this is my opinion, and you can probably tell that I don't vote Liberal. If you do, that's totally up to you. I'm not going to harp on you one way or another. I just have my viewpoint and my belief about what's best for Canada as a whole. But with the government, where there's smoke, there's fire. And this raises huge concerns for me about Trudeau's intentions. So these intentions could include taxing homes while they're still owned, taxing primary residences when they're sold, and just general reflection of a broader policy that seems to want to use new taxes as economic solutions. So after years and years of handouts, which seemingly is just to buy votes and support from all these minority groups, different niche target demographics, and just sway overall sentiment towards him, he now has to come up with a way to pay for it. And it seems like his harebrained idea is to come after the hardworking Canadians who have invested in real estate and built wealth through that asset class. Right now, homeowners are facing enough uncertainty. So I really despise Trudeau using a banner of fairness to just try to lobby a new tax on something that he sees as, ooh, there's so much wealth in Canadian real estate. Let's go after those people. Yeah, let's go after those people who are paying higher mortgages than they're used to because your government poured so much gas on the fire and just let inflation run rampant. Let's come after those homeowners who have worked their entire life investing in this vehicle class, thinking there was going to be no tax on it when it comes time to sell. Let's go after homeowners. Great idea, Trudeau. Love it. So this could all amount to nothing. Do you think there's any weight in this? Surely it would risk significant political and public backlash, but can a wildly unpopular, floundering government resist this temptation? Now, I'm sure many of you are riled up I know I was when I heard about this meeting. I hate sneaky government movements. For me, it's like just be transparent about what you're doing and allow voters to decide if it's right for them. You don't need to hide things. Show us the cards. That's literally what a democracy should look like. And we can pick a leader who's pointing the country in the direction we want, not some sneaky little rat. So there's steps you can take on your side. Number one, when the opportunity comes up, vote for a change in leadership. It's my personal belief that if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain in this country. And since the early 1990s, there has not been over 70% voter turnout in Canada. And that's just sad. So if you're going to complain about anything at all in this country, you have to turn up and you have to vote. Number two, spread awareness. So many people don't know about these secret meetings and stealth activities of the government. They don't know about the agenda that actually goes on. They just see things like, oh, I got a couple $100 in climate incentive in my bank account. I'm going to vote for Trudeau again because he's always sending me money. But watch out for the bigger picture at play, spread awareness, continue to get educated there, share this video with them, and just really continue to learn. And you will see the writing on the wall there. Number three, write, email, call, drop into the office of your local member of parliament. They are your voice in Ottawa, so make sure your opinion and your belief is being heard so that they can advocate for you for when some of these things come up. So I'm curious, how do you feel? Am I a bit extreme in your eyes, or are you in line with what I'm thinking? Do you think that there should be taxes? Maybe you have an argument for it that way. I'm always curious and open to hear new ideas, so please share them in the comments below. Cheers.